What if the birthday gift that you gave your child today could turn into $1 million asset tomorrow? Well, that is the idea behind the $1 Million Baby Plan. We turn small contributions into lifelong financial security. Hi, my name is Laurent Munier. I'm a partner and advisor here at Safe Pacific Financial, and we work with Canadian parents and grandparents who want to give their kids more than just toys or clothes. They want to give them a financial head start. And in today's video, I'm going to explain how the $1 Million Baby Plan works to create a foundation of tax advantage, market-proof growth that lasts for their entire lifetime. Now, what is the $1 Million Baby Plan? Well, the $1 Million Baby Plan is a carefully structured whole life insurance policy with a very high cash value. It's designed to give your child or your grandchild a lifetime of financial security. Unlike a government-registered savings plan such as the RESP, which is called your Registered Education Savings Plan, which are limited to spending on education costs, and they also come with restrictions and limitations on how much you can put in, the $1 Million Baby Plan is really flexible, private, and enduring. By leveraging the participating whole life insurance policies, this plan can create a pool of tax-deferred, compounding cash values that grows steadily over your kid's life without being exposed to market volatility. And the cash value can be used throughout their life for all these major milestones, which generally include education funding, right, to pay for university or trade school or college, without relying on the RESP withdrawal rules. A lot of kids want to have a first home down payment. So you could help your child to step into Canada's really competitive real estate market. Business startups is another big one. So you need money up front. It can provide liquidity when they really need it up front. For family milestones, so this would be things like weddings or relocation, moving to a different city, or big life transitions. And then eventually, probably retirement planning. So this is a financial foundation that can help and keep growing long after the traditional accounts expire. So the $1 Million Baby Plan works on the same generational wealth principles that have been used by Canada's most affluent families. It provides both protection and long-term growth. It's not just an education fund, it's a multi-purpose financial legacy tool. And here's how it works. This is the exact system of how it works. So number one is you want to set up a whole life insurance policy early. So the parents or the grandparents would purchase a participating whole life insurance policy for the child. And you want to start it as early as possible. So ideally, like within the first few weeks of their birth, because this means lower premiums because their age is lower. And you'll get the maximum benefit because you'll have the most amount of years of compounding in front of you. Now, if you missed their exact birthday, that's fine. We set this up for 1-year-olds, 2-year-olds, 10-year-olds, 12-year-olds, 15-year-olds. That's fine. But the earlier you set it up, the longer you have that compounding and the lower cost the actual insurance will be because their age is going to be lower. Number two, what do? You make regular, affordable contributions. So small, consistent monthly contributions, which could be anywhere from $100, $250 a month, $500 a month, $1,000 a month. It really depends on your budget. And this is something that we would figure out with you, but that goes into the policy. And so these policies build up a guaranteed cash value inside the policy. And then this cash value grows over time because A, you're making more deposits, but then there's also an annual dividend that gets paid by the insurance company. Now, over time, the contributions can create a large tax-advantaged asset through these cash values. Third, you want to build long-term tax-advantaged value. So similar to the savings account like an RESP, the cash value grows on a tax-deferred basis inside the policy. So this means the value compounds steadily without being taxed every year, and it remains flexible for withdrawals or for policy loans when you need it. Really importantly, it's not tied to the stock market. So it's very safe and predictable. And it can be a foundation for your planning, right? It doesn't go up and down like the stock market. And then fourth, what do? You can leverage the funds across your life's milestones or across your kids' life's milestones. So the $1 Million Baby Plan is not just limited to paying for education. It does act like a family-owned financial reservoir, say. So as your child grows, they can use the cash value for many things. So that could include covering tuition or educational expenses. It could contribute towards first home purchase. It could be startup capital for a business. It could provide liquidity for family milestones. It could supplement retirement later in life. So unlike the RESP, there's no penalties or restrictions on how you use your funds, and you have real flexibility on how to use the money. Then number 5, you can pass down a legacy without really being tied up by the government. So the plan creates a permanent death benefit, which ensures that your child or grandchild has lifelong insurance coverage. And then the ownership of the policy can be transferred tax-free when that time is right. And there's no set period where you can transfer it whenever you want, or you could wait until you pass away and then that would flow. The policy could transfer to either your kids or to your grandkids, however you want to set this up, and we would work with you on that. This makes the $1 Million Baby Plan not only a tool for education and growth, but also a powerful estate and succession strategy that can protect multiple generations of wealth. Now, let's talk about the $1 Million Baby Plan versus an RESP. Which one should I get? So we get this question all the time, and I know that we're on the internet, so I'm supposed to pick a side, and I have a strong opinion that what I say is right and everything else is wrong and you shouldn't do it. And I know that that's how you get the best engagement, and I'll get the most rage comments by saying you have to do this and the other one is garbage. But that's not what this channel is all about. And real people want real talk, not cheesy manipulation for views and engagement. So I'm going to assume that you're a smart and capable person and that you're capable of nuanced discussion. Here's my shocked face on the internet. So the truth is, if you have the financial means, you should do both. You should do the $1 Million Baby Plan and you should put money into an RESP. But if you have to pick one, you also can't really go wrong with either way. Both of them are good. Both of them work. So pick the one that you like better and commit to it for the long term. So here are the pros and cons to each and what some of our clients use to make their decision whether they're going to put money into a whole life insurance policy for their kids or grandkids, or whether they're putting the money into an RESP account. So the number one big benefit of the RESP is you get the government grants when you contribute. So you get the CESG, the Canada Education Savings Grant, which gives you an extra $500 or up to $500 per year. And if your family has a lower income, you could also qualify for what's called the Canada Learning Bond, the CLB, in those years where you're earning less. And then also the different provinces also have different types of bonds and grants and stuff that they can use to top up your RESP. So you can't go wrong getting free grant money to help pay for your kids' school. So general common sense says take the guaranteed money. But not everyone's going to go to university, or not everyone wants to go to post-secondary school. So for those, the RESP makes less sense if you don't think your kids are going to go to school. Another drawback of the RESP is it's one and done. You can only use the money for school, and once you've used it, it's gone. Another thing is the RESPs expire after 35 years. You're only allowed to have the account open for 35 years. So you have to use the money for school in that time, or you have to shut down the RESP and transfer the money out. So you'd either take it out, in which case it would be taxed and you would lose the government grants. You can also transfer it to one of the parents' RRSPs, and there's different rules around that. But generally, you're going to lose the grant money if you're shutting down the RESP and not using the money for education. And actually, another advantage of the so that's one of the disadvantages, but one of the advantages of the RESP, most people know what it is. So when people are going to give you money for your kids, say it's for when they're born, or for a birthday, or for Christmas, or for whatever holidays that you celebrate, it's much easier to explain to somebody that you're putting the money into their RESP, because generally people know what that is, versus telling people that you're going to use the money and you're going to be putting it into a life insurance policy, and then now you have to fully explain why you're doing this, because most people don't know how that works. That doesn't mean that's bad. It just means it's way easier to tell grandma that this $100 she gave you is going into their education fund, and they get that. Now, contrast that with the $1 Million Baby Plan. So the $1 Million Baby Plan, you get no grant or no money from the government. But you also can use the money for whatever you want, and you can use the money multiple times during the child's life as they go through these financial milestones that we talked about. So generally paying for school, buying a house, starting a business, paying for big expenses, things like weddings or for retirement. So instead of being tied to education only, the plan's cash value can be used for whatever you want or for whatever your kids want. And then the growth is also much more secure. right? The cash value is immediately vested. So when money hits the account, it's guaranteed so that you don't have the market risk that the value is going to go up and down. With RESPs, generally those are invested in the market. They're invested in stocks or bonds or ETFs or mutual funds or segregated funds, and those will go up or down with the market. So your RESP can go up and down unless you're invested in something guaranteed like GICs or something like that. Unlike RESPs, there's no government-imposed limitations or restrictions on how the money can be used when you're putting it into one of these whole life policies. Even better, the $1 Million Baby Plan doesn't lose value when you use it, right? The cash value continues to grow after you withdraw, or if you're taking policy loans or collateral loans against it. So this makes it one of the most reliable and enduring wealth strategies that a Canadian family can use to set up their children or to their grandchildren for a lifetime of financial security. Now let's talk about the real world, right? What's the real world impact here? So think about the biggest milestones in your kids' lives. So going to university, buying a house, Canada's got really expensive real estate. They start a business, preparing for their own retirement. Most parents try to save for each of these things individually using different types of accounts and different types of products that come with different types of restrictions or tax consequences or exposure to market risk. But with the $1 Million Baby Plan, you can fund all of these things and more from one well-structured private plan. And now here's how it works in real life with just a small, consistent premium contribution. So the strategy will build a pool of tax-advantaged compounding cash value inside this participating whole life policy. And then over decades, these small monthly payments can grow into hundreds of thousands of dollars in available cash for your kids or for your grandkids. So this gives them a powerful financial head start. They'll have access to funds for their education, for their down payment, for business setup, weddings, family expenses, trips, all without the restrictions of the government programs like an RESP has. And then the true difference is in the flexibility and in the control. So unlike locked-in accounts that expire or they deplete or they limit on how you can use the funds, the $1 Million Baby Plan remains adaptable for your child's entire life, right? The parents or the grandparents will keep ownership and control of the policy as long as they're paying the premiums. And then when the time is right, even after the funds are borrowed or withdrawn, then they can transfer it to the kids. So this means that the plan can support multiple goals across multiple decades, not just one single goal of paying for education. So now for Canadian families that are looking to provide more than just a short-term savings, the $1 Million Baby Plan delivers what other strategies really can't. Lifelong financial security, intergenerational wealth transfer, the peace of mind knowing that your child's future is protected. And because there's life insurance associated, the peace of mind knowing that your kids are also protected because your child has insurance. So you're actually potentially giving money to some kid that doesn't even exist yet and that you may never even meet. And then you can do all of this without relying on market performance and without relying on government restrictions, right? And then how do we help in here? So, we've taken the concept of the $1 Million Baby Plan. Well, actually, we coined the phrase $1 Million Baby Plan. I made that up. And we've refined it into a seamless, customized experience for Canadian families who want to give their children or their grandchildren a really strong financial head start. And our role is to really simplify what could be a complex thing and to ensure that the plan is set up correctly and structured for the maximum long-term benefit. And here's how specifically we do it. So number one is we structure the personalized plan for you. So every family's financial situation and every family's financial goals are different. And so we don't use a one-size-fits-all approach. We design a contribution plan, whether that's monthly or annual, that works with your budget today, while also building towards this multi-purpose flexibility that your child is going to need later in life, right? Like decades from now. So whether you want to keep your premiums small or you want to maximize the growth, we will tailor the policy structure to your situation and make it something that fits with your life. Secondly, there's the tax-efficient cash value growth. So one of the most powerful features of the $1 Million Baby Plan is the ability to grow the tax-deferred cash value inside the participating policy. So we structure the policy to ensure that the contributions are optimized for growth, optimized for receiving dividends, and then over time, the value becomes dependable, it's liquid, and it's an asset that your child can access for all of these things. Again, education, house, retirement, whatever they need to spend their money on, without the tax burden of taking money out and without the market volatility that comes with investment accounts, right? Thirdly is the control and the smooth transition. So this one is big, actually. So unlike our ESPs or other government regulated programs, you keep full ownership and control over this $1 Million Baby Plan until you decide you want to transfer it. So when that moment comes, the ownership can be transferred to your child or to your grandchild tax-free, which gives them direct access to a powerful financial resource, but it allows you also to transfer this money generationally in a tax-free way. So this ensures that you keep control while still guaranteeing a smooth and efficient handoff to the next generation at a time that you control and that you see fit. We have different families doing different things here. Some people plan on giving their kids, they plan on transferring it to their kids at some age that they pick, whether they're 18 or 25 or 30 years old or whatever it is. Some plan on transferring it when they see that their child has a financial maturity where you say, okay, well, yes, I can give you this asset that's worth tens of thousands or hundreds of thousands of dollars and you're not going to mess it up. You can also set it to transfer automatically on death. So you could own it for your entire life. And then when you pass away, it automatically transfers to your kids or to whoever you want. So there's a lot of flexibility in how this transfers and when it transfers, but you keep total control of it. The child has no control of it until you give it to them. That question that a lot of people ask, right? Number 4 as well is it builds this true legacy mindset. So the $1 Million Baby Plan isn't just about creating money for school or for down payment or for business. It's about creating financial literacy and long-term stability for the family, right? So by showing your child the value of a financial system that can grow safely and predictably, you're not just passing on the dollars, but you're passing on the discipline, you're passing on the foresight, you're passing on the mindset of generational wealth, you're passing on the knowledge of how does this thing work, right? So you're involving them hopefully and teaching them hopefully how this thing works, and you're setting them up for a greater future. And so, how does this even fit with what we do? Like, how does this fit with our mission? And our mission is really simple, right? We help Canadian families to build flexible, secure, tax-efficient legacies without exposing them to unnecessary risks. So the $1 Million Baby Plan, you're not just protecting your child's financial future, you're planting those seeds of stability, of opportunity that can grow for decades and generations. I'll wrap this up here. So final thoughts. It's not just another savings tool. The $1 Million Baby Plan is a lifelong strategy that grows with your child. It gives them flexibility, it gives them an inheritance, it gives them financial empowerment while giving you control and peace of mind. So you can start their life on the right path today. And it's really simple to do, right? You schedule a no-pressure conversation with us. The way you do that is you go to our website. It's safepacific.com. I'm going to link it below here in the video. You'll be able to click on it. When you get to our website, there's so many buttons that you can push to either book directly into our calendar, or you can send us a message and somebody will reply to you right away. And we can explore if and how the $1 Million Baby Plan can work for your family. It generally does work for most families. Some it doesn't work for, and that's okay. But yeah, we do this all day, every day. We do this for our own kids. We do this for our own families' kids, like brothers and sisters and cousins. And it's great. We see these plans working for hundreds of our clients, right? So I'm not just talking about something that's a conceptual thing here. This is a real thing that's happening every day for us. So again, go to the website, safepacific.com, click on one of the buttons there, and you can book a meeting with us. Now, before you go, if you found today's video helpful, please do all of the things that help the robots and the algorithms to share this message with more people. So that means click the like button, click the subscribe button, click the share button if you want to send this to somebody. If you've got any questions or if you want to argue with me, put it in the comments below. We love that. And if you know any parents or grandparents or anybody who's having a child soon, please send this to them. It's something that most people don't know you can do. And it does give you a huge advantage. It gives your family a huge advantage. It gives your kids a huge advantage, having this pool of capital, of money that's there when they start to hit these financial milestones that can be really expensive in Canada. So that's it for me today. Thanks for watching, and I will see you next time.